Whenever Saturn has moved in a movable sign, right, there has been very quick highs and lows and ups and downs. You guys can see the charts of Harshad Mehta, Dhirubhai Ambani, Rakesh, Jhunjhunwala. You'll find all these combinations, and fortunately, they are all same combinations in them. If you see the charts of the son of Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, he will has his Saturn aspecting the Jupiter, means there was a legacy which was created by the father, and now he's going to take that legacy ahead. I have a client. I said, oh, you have a Harshad Mehta kind of a combination. I said, what to do? I said, every year you need to take your wife and kids, take out some money, go to the foreign trip. People are revolving entire stocks around Saturn and Rahu.
Somebody like me, if I come to you and say that I want to invest in, the markets, and if you check my horoscope, what is it that you're actually going to look out for as an astrologer?
I've seen people who've earned so much and lost so much when the bad dasha has come.
Even if they've had good planets?
Even if they had great combinations.
Okay. How do you see cryptocurrency? How is this year in particular for, investing in AI, crypto and tech stocks? The role of Navamsh, that is D9, Dashamsh, where, you see career from, and of course D60 chart, in predicting success, this kind of success for stock market and speculative industry.
Wherever the dispositor goes in your chart, you have to put your money in that house.
What was it about Harshad Mehta's chart that he did so well, and then, there was such a big dip down in his life and career?
I think this is one of the best questions of the entire podcast.
Hi, this is Preetika Rao. Welcome to my episode on stock market astrology with none other than Navneet Chitkara ji. I welcome him once again.
Thank you for having me on your channel. Thank you.
My question is, this is what I genuinely believe, that so many years back during Parashar, Hora Shastra, Jaimini, astrology and all these manuscripts being written on astrology, the concept of stock exchange or stock market never really existed, right? So there are a lot of astrologers out there who are doing videos on astrology. I wanted to be the first to do an episode on stock market predictions through astrology, but I think I was really late because I took time out to, get the right astrologer on board. I could have got any astrologer out there who claims to do market predictions, but it's important not to misguide and to use astrology as just, like a speculative science. I wanted to be more authentic, and that's why I am going to ask Navneet ji certain questions. I knew an astrologer who did stock market predictions through astrology using the, the muhurat, the date of birth, time of birth of the Bombay Stock Exchange. That being another topic, would it be more proper to do astrology, stock market astrology through an individual horoscope rather than making it very generic by doing market predictions by using this chart of the Bombay Stock Exchange?
It's a very nice question. And first of all, I'll go to your first question that you asked me, because, when all these manuscripts were written, I don't think there was anything called stock exchange or stock market or something like that.
Right.
But Jyotish has a platform known as Desh Kal Patra. Over last 100 years, the fundamentals of Jyotish are the same, right? And all the learned people have those strong fundamentals, strong base with them. But then new professions are coming.
Right.
Right. I have never heard in 70s or 80s someone as a data scientist, right? Or someone, or a word known as artificial intelligence.
Right.
Right. But then, when such professions, such verticals of earning are seen in civilization, astrologers superimpose the patterns now of such professions over the fundamentals of Jyotish.
Okay.
There's nowhere it is written that this particular planet is significator of stocks.
Right.
But when there was so much of highs and lows, ups and downs, gaps, movement in the market based on a certain planet, on a certain tithi, on a certain transit, they started, collecting that data. And that data is a very valid data. And it was not just once. The pattern followed one after the other. And it was the same pattern which was repeating every 30 years, 25 years, 18 years, every tithi, every month, every sun eclipse or a moon eclipse, every Bhadra time. So then they figured out that these are the planets, these are the tithis, these are certain transitions, gochars that are affecting a particular profession.
Okay.
Right? And that is how this was invented. Pandemic have completely wiped off few, professions.
Yes.
But the same pandemic has given people a platform. They have become millionaires. They have earned so much.
Right.
So how can be a universal mundane event, so much benefit for someone that it's like, a new life, right? It's a benchmark that they have achieved. And for some people, it is nothing. They've lost everything.
Right.
So end of the day, it is your individual horoscope.
So if somebody like me, if I come to you and say that I want to invest in, the markets, and if you check my horoscope, what is it that you're actually going to look out for as an astrologer?
Again, a very beautiful question. You see, in last 15 years of my experience, what I've seen is that I'll give you another perspective. You asked me a very genuine and a beautiful question, but what people ask me is that, Navneet sir, I have my Jupiter here, I have my Saturn here, will I make money? Right? The problem is that even there are astrologers going on live, sessions on YouTube and answering such questions. But a horoscope has to be checked in totality.
Okay.
If you do not check horoscope in totality, you cannot answer this question. People are revolving entire stocks around Saturn and Rahu.
Okay.
Mercury, they're talking about Saturn, Rahu, Mercury, Jupiter all the time. But let me tell you, how do we check your chart in totality? Suppose you come to me. The first thing that I'll check in your horoscope is Sun, your Surya. Now, what is Surya? Surya is your decision-making ability. Now, anyone who is watching this, he knows what is the importance of a decision-making, ability in stocks. People who are giving knowledge to the world is not because of Brihaspati. It's because they have Sun in the third house of communication. They want to communicate knowledge to the world. They want to take the knowledge and give it to the world, right? So Surya is your confidence. It's your decision-making ability. So even if your Saturn or Rahu, which are considered as the main significators, of stocks, people would fail because they will not be able to take right decisions at right time.
Okay.
At times you have to book small losses and then you have to earn big. And people are not ready to take those small losses, right? So that is Sun. And then my next thing would be to check your moon.
Moon?
Yes. Now, what is your moon? Moon is your present state of mind. Suppose if your moon is very, very weak, you will not be able to handle the speculations of the stocks.
Absolutely.
You will panic.
Right.
You will sell. The third thing is Mercury. Mercury is your intellect. It's your problem solving ability. It's, your knowledge, your information, knowledge is Brihaspati, but information is Mercury. The education system should have at least 4 to 5 years program on stocks, which now many universities have started, right? It should be a learning curve, right? You learn things systematically. People are relying on YouTube videos. People are relying that, okay, this particular share will go this is 15 rupees today, it will go up to 200 rupees, let's buy. That's not the knowledge, that's not the information. And then you lose money. And the second thing is that there are people who want to invest 10 lakh and want 25 or 30 lakhs in a year. It's not a good idea. That's how the stock doesn't work. That is the reason Saturn is the Karaka, significator, because Saturn wants you to work with your 100% effort, long hours of working, learning, and then earning. That's the principle of Saturn. That is why you see any Saturn nakshatra, just behind the Saturn nakshatra, there is a Jupiter nakshatra. Always. Saturn says, come to me only after visiting Jupiter. You can't come to me straight. If you're coming to me from the other side, you're going to lose. You understand what I'm saying? So technically, it's the Mercury, and then comes your Mars. Mars is your ambition. Mars is your passion. Mars is your bouncing back ability. So today people will come, they'll earn money, they'll be happy. Tomorrow you lose little bit of money. You said, I'm not going to do this. It's gambling. It's not gambling. To an extent, only 10% part of it, which is the Jupiterian part of it, you can say it is gambling, because Jupiter is your luck. Jupiter aapka bhagya hai. Because in the Naisargic, horoscope also, Jupiter is the 9th lord. It's your luck. So luck comes from Jupiter. Mars is your bouncing back ability. So if you don't have that ability to bounce back, you're out of the picture.
Okay.
Right? Similarly, Venus is your sacrificing ability. Venus teaches you how to sacrifice. And if you can't sacrifice certain things, suppose I have X amount of money today, but my priority is to buy a home or a car rather than investing and making it large, living a good secured life. I mean, your Venus is not good. You are earning and you are spending money on unnecessarily luxuries. So Venus says that if your Venus is bad, don't come to stocks, because today you will earn money, you will party hard, and tomorrow you'll be left with very limited money to invest again. And that's also story of many people. They earned, they made their homes, they made everything. They did not wait for that mega wealth, that right time, and eventually they're out of the money, they're out of funds now. And they're going to the bank, financial institutions, involving the money of financial institutions. That's exactly what happened with Harshad Mehta. You see, and then you have this beautiful planet Saturn. Saturn says, I am the one who will take care of the stocks.
Okay.
I am the Lord of the 11th house. All I want is speculations, and that speculations will come from Rahu.
Acha.
Right? So shares and stocks are not Rahu, it's Saturn. But the speculations, the highs and lows, the magic, that comes from Rahu.
Okay.
So they work as the Lord and the co-Lord of the 11th house in a Naisargic horoscope.
Yes. True.
Right? So Saturn is the main Karaka. So the first thing, how does Saturn brings someone, to a stature where he wants to invest, that mind that clicks and says that I want to be part of stocks, is only when Saturn has some association with your intelligence. And how is that intelligence association seen in the horoscope? By seeing whether Saturn has any combination, any association, any drishti, any relationship with the lagna of your horoscope or the second house of your horoscope.
Okay.
Right? That is where your entire intelligence and your family and your thought process and your taste is. Okay? You don't only taste food, you also taste money. You also taste success.
True.
Right? So the first house and the second house. You pick up any great guy, right? He has to have Saturn in prominent houses. For an example, Saturn in the first house, second house, fourth house, 10th house, 11th house, fifth house, eighth house. They are important houses because 11th, second, first, fourth, they give you wealth and luxury. They give you comforts. And then, Rahu is done, and now you use some intuitions, some small tools that you use to see those market trends. And those tools and those intuitions are coming from Ketu.
Okay.
So how can we say that just looking at one particular planet in your horoscope, we can conclude that you can be in stocks and you can earn a lot? And over and above, suppose you have all these beautiful alignments in your horoscope, or you have 4 or 5 of them, not all. I would say, yes, go ahead. But what about your dasha? I've seen people who've earned so much and lost so much when the bad dasha has come.
Even if they've had good planets.
Even if they had great combinations.
Okay.
They were not able to sustain that money with them. Right? So I have tons of charts with me where they were like a king. Even from the city where I belong, we have stock exchange there as well. But there I've seen people who were king and then getting that money, putting in real estate and other factors, but they are nowhere today when the bad dasha came. Right? So if you do not check everything in totality, if you are motivated by a few videos on the YouTube and you see, oh, my Saturn is exalted, or it has an aspect of Jupiter, but where is my moon? Where is my decision making? Where is my bouncing back ability? Where is my learning ability? Do I have luck? Do I have dasha? If you do not have, a collective good output coming from your horoscope, I mean, even if the Nifty or Sensex is all-time high, right? Everything people are celebrating, you are the one who's going to lose money. But if everything falls in place and you have, right, your dashas are great and everything is going down, it's a war thing happening all around, still you will make money. Because money has to come. It's destined. It is written already.
Generally, people say that, long-term trading is better. You will make profits. But there are some people who are into intraday trading as well, or short-term trading as well. I'm sure there are planets that represent long-term trading and short-term trading. Would you be able to tell us about it?
Certainly. More than planets, Preetika ji, they are the signs.
Oh, okay.
The zodiac signs.
Acha.
And as you know, there are 3 types of zodiac signs. Fixed, movable, and dual.
Right.
Right. Now, all these movable signs are very quick. Movable sign means you want to run away from everything. You want everything quickly. Right. So if you have combinations in your horoscope where most of the planets are in movable signs.
Okay.
Right.
These particular planets that you spoke about.
Yes. Suppose you have moon in your movable sign.
Yeah.
Right. That means your mind is very quick. Moon is already very quick.
Right.
Right. So intraday trading is like taking quick decisions.
Yeah.
Right. You just book a little bit profit, take exit, get another, take exit, get another. Right.
Okay.
So if you have Saturn, Jupiter, Moon, Mercury, these planets, or at least 3 out of these planets in movable signs, right, it's good for you to do intra.
Okay.
Right? It's high speed thing every day for you. And you should also be running a dasha where a planet is in a movable sign. Right?
Okay.
You see, whenever Saturn has moved in a movable sign, right, there has been very quick highs and lows and ups and downs. Even on monthly basis, when moon is in movable sign, there's a lot of speculations. And the same pattern follows from last 100 years. It's exactly same which is happening all the time, right? But if you have a lot of planets in the fixed signs, 2, 5, 8 and 11, they're all fixed signs in Jyotish. So that means you want to stay there, you want to sustain, you want to hold on to the things. You are more stable. You're not running around. People who have movable lagnas like Aries or Cancer or Libra or Capricorn, they always want to run away. They're on a run, right? People who have fixed lagnas, they'll be a little more stable. They want to hang in there. So if you have great combinations and most of them are in the fixed lagnas, it's better that you do long term. You hold on to the long term things.
Okay.
And if you have in the dual lagnas, then it's the mixed. For an example, you can take a stock, keep it for 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, sell it off, take another. All those people who, book profits after 6 months, 3 months, not on daily basis, but on monthly basis, within a year or within 1 or 2 years. That's when you have these combinations in the dual lagnas.
Okay.
Right? So again, it's not about the planet. It's about you're having that planet in which particular sign and how many of them and what is the dasha you're running. And at a very, very saturated level, we have today's transit, because transit will only affect you if your dasha allows you. If your dasha is like this air condition, it's hot outside, but it's not allowing the heat to come inside. We are comfortable.
Yes.
And suppose we are doing it in a park or a garden, we'll be sweating by now.
Right.
Right? So only if the dasha will allow an event to happen in your life, only then the event will happen.
Yes. True. True. So share market is a very speculative industry. Is there any particular astrological combination, planetary combination, that can make people lucky in speculative kind of, like even gambling is speculative business?
Yeah, certainly is. Again, very intelligent questions. I've never done a stock podcast with anyone because I don't expect, intelligent questions. I was ready with you because every question is so crystal clear that will help the viewers. Now, this question, Preetika ji, is about luck. And I've said luck is Jupiter. Now, let's, compare this luck at different platforms. Suppose you have combination of Jupiter with Moon. That makes your mind, very lucky, very stable, that you are happy-go-lucky, you're more spiritual and you find peace in spirituality. If you have Jupiter and Mercury, you are learning all the time. You want to learn. But learning to a level. I have seen people who would come to me and say, we are learning. I said, okay, when would you start earning? And they said, no, I want to learn for another 6 months. I meet them after 6 months. No, I think I need to learn for another 1 year, another 2 years. They have done multiple PhDs and this and that, but they have not started to earn. That's where the problem is. I mean, Jupiter, Mars can give you bouncing back ability, the luck in bouncing back ability. But the thing is that bouncing back will only happen if you are working.
Right.
Right? So one combination that I have seen, I can name people. You can pick up the charts of Harshad Mehta. You can pick up the chart of Dhirubhai Ambani.
Okay.
I can give you certain charts of my followers and students who have really done well in the stocks. You see, these people have drishti, the graha drishti, which is the drishti of desire, which is a temporary drishti, not a permanent drishti, right, on Saturn and Rahu, right? So Saturn is your work.
Yes.
You are in action now. You're working, long hours of working. Your profession. So you're in profession for 20 years. The karka of your profession, beat any profession, basically Saturn. Even if you're a doctor, you have to work with discipline. You have to work for long working hours. It's all coming from Shani, right? So any blessing of Jupiter on Saturn is one yoga you'll find in the charts of even Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He has Jupiter and Saturn together in the Kendra. Right, in the 4th house, and there is exactly Sun opposite to it, which is giving him a lot of knowledge, stability, right? So, and then you also should have Rahu getting the blessing of Jupiter. Rahu should get blessings of Surya. Now, people will say, Rahu's blessing on Jupiter is Guru Chandal or it's a Pitri dosha. How's that? You see, first thing, what people do not understand about Rahu is that Rahu is a shadow planet. Suppose I have my shadow here or you have your shadow here. What is required to create that shadow? Light.
Yes.
Without the light, there is no shadow.
Right.
So aren't these dark, mystical, magical, deceptive planets require some light?
They do, yes.
And that light is knowledge. That light is your luck. And light will only come from benefic planets. All the negative planets are pure darkness. Right? So they need luck even to create the chaya, the shadow.
So would it be like Moon, Sun and Jupiter with Rahu?
Yes. Even, Sun and Moon together.
Okay.
Which is making Amavasya Yoga. You will find this Amavasya Yoga giving a lot of obsession and giving ability to just hang in there with all what is nonsense which is happening around us. You just be there all the time, taking a lot of mental turmoils inside. And I've seen successful people with Sun and Moon together, Rahu with it. Or Jupiter aspecting Rahu, Jupiter aspecting Saturn, Saturn aspecting Jupiter. Now, what does Saturn aspect on Jupiter do? It carries on the legacy, right? If you see the charts of the son of Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani,
okay,
right, he will has his Saturn aspecting the Jupiter, means there was a legacy which was created by the father, and now he's going to take that legacy ahead. So Jupiter aspecting Saturn, you will create the legacy. Now you have a son at your home. And he has Saturn aspecting Jupiter. So he will take it forward in a very different way. Right? It's the legacy. So I am doing stocks. My son will also now do stocks. And he'll perform better. So it's the knowledge. Saturn says, I need knowledge and luck. And Jupiter has both the capabilities. Jupiter will give you luck. Jupiter will give you wisdom. Right? And Saturn will give you that long-term approach towards your business. Right? And Rahu will help you to handle speculations. Right? If there is wisdom and light coming to Rahu. Better the light, better the shadow.
Okay.
Like in the day, you have a more stronger shadow as compared to the night. So these are some combinations that are worth seeing. I've seen these, you guys can see the charts of Harshad Mehta, Dhirubhai Ambani, Rakesh, Jhunjhunwala. You'll find all these combinations. And fortunately, they are all same combinations in them.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. There's always Jupiter-Saturn combination coming. Always, in their Navamsha. We'll talk about this, in detail. But all these combinations where Jupiter is blessing Saturn or Rahu, right, or Jupiter is in the Lagna, exalted, and then you see this Saturn having the same combination in the Navamsha, right? All these things are very, very important.
What was it about Harshad Mehta's chart that he did so well, and then, there was such a big dip down in his life and career?
See, I think this is one of the best questions of the entire podcast. I must tell you that. This was my, only concern, that how can someone go that high and do certain manipulations and come back, use banks for the manipulations. You see, wherever your Saturn is, or wherever your Rahu is, when you're working around stocks, you're working because of Saturn and Rahu primarily. Other planets are supportive, decision making, your mindset, bouncing back ability. They are not stocks. Stocks is coming from Saturn and Rahu.
Okay.
Primarily Saturn, right? Now Saturn will be in a particular sign, and there will be a lord of a sign. known as the dispositor.
Hmm.
Wherever the dispositor goes in your chart, you have to put your money in that house. Okay, suppose I have my Saturn in the second house and it's exalted. So Saturn will be exalted in Libra. The lord of the Libra is Venus.
Right.
Now this Venus goes into the fourth house. I think if I have earned money, I should put it into real estate. Right? I mean, you can take example of the DMAT guy, the DMAT, right? He's done a great job. What is the specialty of the DMAT? They don't rent it out. They purchase that land and then they build a DMAT on it.
Right.
Right? The primary money has come from the stocks. Okay? So, in case of Harshad Mehta, his Saturn was exalted in the second house. So that means he is Virgo rising. And the Venus was in the 12th house of losses. Okay? There was two options for him. One, he could have invested entire money into the foreign lands. Or he would go to the jail. It's the 12th house. He would go to the isolation. And everything will be lost.
Right.
Right? So even if you're earning money, so you've accumulated a wealth. Where is the wealth going? You have to understand the theme of your life. If he would have taken that money to the foreign or global or international, I mean, everything would have kept going within the banks. It is the banks who started shouting when the money never came back. It's what on unsecured loans he was taking. Right? So when a person or a company goes NPA, it's the bank who will shout at, and RBI will shout at the bank, what are you doing? How are you giving these loans? And then the entire scams comes out. Right? But if the money was keep coming and the circle was not stopped and people would have not lost the money, everything would have been fine. Right? So either you put money to the foreign lands, you put money. I have a client. He's got same combination, and his lord is in the 12th house. So I said, oh, you have a Harshad Mehta kind of a combination. I said, what to do? All right, where am I doing? I said, every year you need to take your wife and kids, take out some money, go to the foreign trip.
Okay.
Right, spend there, buy a home in Europe, buy a flat in US, right? Go to a downtown, buy an expensive flat, go to Dubai, invest in Dubai. He started doing it, and I think he's surviving from last 10 years.
Wow, with the same combination.
With the same combination. You look at Dhirubhai, it goes to the 8th house, it goes to, with the Mukesh Ambani, it goes to the 8th house, but there's a parivartan of the 7th and the 8th, there. So they're putting in petroleum. They put in mines, right? Otherwise, it will be lost. It will not multiply, right? If it is with Rahu, that dispositor, you need to put in technology. You need to put in IT, right? If it goes with Jupiter, you should open your own financial services. It goes with Venus. Venus is Karka of finance. So you can have a finance company. You can have an NBFC, right? And put your money there, create those companies. But it is important that you have all these combinations. Where is the money going? Right? It has to go somewhere. If it is not going, somewhere, you're losing money.
True. So basically, it's like you have a seed with you which has great potential, but if you don't know which season to sow it in or which correct soil to sow it in, there's no point. So astrology is like guiding you. You could have the best of the planets, but if you don't take your decisions wisely as per your dasha, things won't fructify the way they're meant to be or should be. My next question would be here about the role of Navamsh, that is D9, Dashamsh, where you see career from, and of course D60 chart in predicting success, this kind of success for stock market and speculative industry.
very technical question here. You see, whatever we are getting in this life, there are two things to it. One is the good karmas of the past and our bhagya. Bhagya is given to us by Bhagavati, Ma Durga. And obviously, with that bhagya, the quantum of the wealth is decided, right? I mean, are you a person with 10 crores or, or 1,000 crores or 1 lakh crores or whatever? It all comes from your prarabdha, from your past life.
True.
Right? I used to think when I was 25, it comes with hard work and commitment, but at 45, it changed.
Yes.
Right? So, the D9 chart, has 3 layers in it, or probably can be more layers to it, but what I know is 3 layers. When you look at D9 chart on the basis of an individual, it shows your marriage, your bhagya, because it comes out of the 9th house. But on the same time, it is also representation of your immediate prarabdha, the immediate past life.
Okay.
Right? D60 is net total sanchit karmas. Okay, what is the difference between prarabdha and sanchit? Sanchit is that bigger basket where all the karmas of all the births have accumulated, and now you have to empty that basket. So, you're taking out small mugs from that basket, and that mug is your this life, this janma. So that mug is your D9. It has a spouse in it. It has luck, right? It has quantum of wealth, right? And D60 is that net total. I would say the word that I want to use is the unfulfilled desires from long time.
Okay.
Right? Which is the word which is used in the Shastras. Now I can recall it as vasana.
Achha.
Okay. So D60 tell about all those vasanas that you have been not able to leave from many births. Few of the vasanas are coming in the D9. Okay. And then the D10 is your environment of the work, your working skills and capabilities. Now, how do we look at this? I'll give you with one example, one way. Sun, Surya, decides the quantum of wealth.
Okay.
Okay. Because it was the position of the Surya from the earth which gave wealth to the earth.
True.
Right? I mean, if the position of the Surya would have been little away or little close, there was no wealth on the earth. Wealth is, the first thing is our body is a wealth. The plants that you see is a wealth, right? The food that you see is the wealth. That is the primary wealth. So the karaka of, the wealth on this planet is Surya. Okay?
Right.
But Surya only gives you wealth after the blessings of Jupiter. Okay? Of a guru, because all the planets are standing folded hands either in front of Jupiter or Venus, finding their gurus. Now, when we get up in the morning, sun rises in the morning.
Yes.
When every morning, if you make a chart of everyday morning, sun will be in the Lagna, in the first house. Okay. By the afternoon, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, right, you will see this sun coming in the 10th house.
Okay.
Okay, it moves, right, from the first house to the second to the third, from 12th, then 11th, and to the 10th house. 10th house is where sun is very powerful. It's direct. It wants you to work. And there is a devata associated with the 10th house. They are known as Lokapalas.
Okay.
Okay. Lokapala means a devata that takes care of the kendra. For an example, the devata, the Lokapala of the 7th house is Varuna. But for the 4th house from the sun, the Lokapala is Kubera. Okay, is the Kubera. Kubera is the one who handles, is the manager of Lakshmi, right? And he has both. Actually, Asura, this Kubera has like a mixed breed, right? Because he was also, brother of Ravana. Okay, so that means Kubera is going to give wealth to both categories of the people who are Rajas and Tamas. That is why even Tamasic people and Rajasic people both have a lot of wealth. Right? So this answers that as well. Okay. Now, it's not about who is sitting in the fourth house. It's about who's the Lord of the fourth house. From Sun. Okay. So if you have a horoscope, rotate your horoscope to the Lagna as the Sun. Surya Chakra. And you see the fourth house from the Sun.
Okay.
Fourth house from the Sun is Kubera. And that planet should be very well placed in your Lagna Kundli. Okay. It should be in 2, it should not be in 2, 6, 8 and 12, first of all. Right? But now we move ahead. This is what you will create, as a Lagna, your intelligence will create. Is it backed up by your D9 or by D60? Means, is that wealth, the quantum of wealth, maybe 10 lakhs or 100 crores or 2,500 or 1 lakh crores, it will now go to the D9 chart. You have to see the same planet, which is your Kubera. Is it well placed in the D9? That means the money is coming from the Prarabdha. Very good karmas you have done. You fed lot of people. Every day, from some part of your income, you're giving food to the people. I'm making you ready for the next birth. Okay? But then we go to D60. We'll see, oh, how's this planet placed in the D60? Oh, it is very good in the D60 as well. Means it is the habit of the person to make charities, to do good karmas from many births.
Okay.
He will never be bankrupt. Or when he goes bankrupt because of a dasha, he'll make money out of bankruptcy. Right. So that's the importance of the Lagna, of the D9 and the D60 to check the quantum of the wealth. And then when we check this planet in the D10 chart, we'll see whether it's creating a good environment for earning money, or you're going to earn money in a false way. For example, if your Kubera is exalted, or the Kubera is debilitated, right? In both circumstances, it can give you money, right? The only difference between exalted planet and a debilitated planet is exalted planet, you'll always earn money with ethics, and debilitated, you will earn money without ethics. You keep a gun on somebody's head and take the money.
Okay.
But both will give you money. That is why the Shastra says, Ucche Niche Graha Raj Yoga. So both, conditions, they're giving the money, right? One is ethics, the other one is unethical, right? So that is the importance. So we've seen all the yogas are there, the wealth is there, but the quantum, right? You'll make it large, or you'll make it average, or you'll have to take another mug from the basket in the next life and do some good karmas. Maybe if you're earning 10,000 rupees, a month or a day, I think you should spend 2,000 rupees for, helping people, for helping innocent people, giving them medicines, giving them food. It is written in Karma Vibhag Sahita. It's a conversation between Shiva and Parvati. He says that this guy was doing a lot of charity. This guy, Shiva is telling Parvati, this guy was giving milk to the poor. This guy was feeding Brahmins. This guy was doing a lot of charity of the food. So in this life, he's not short of the money.
Right.
So don't you think that should be our lifestyle? To help people, to promote people, to give education to the people?
True.
Right? That's how in depth we check the D9, the D10 and the D60. However, there are fundamental principles of the D10. Like the second house of the D10 tells you about the source of the money. The fourth house of the D10 tells you about the environment of your office, right? Ninth house of the D10 tells you about your bosses, your mentors. Shani placement in the D10, because the Karaka of D10 is Saturn, right? The planet in the Lagna or the Lord of the Lagna of the D10 influence your attitude towards your work. What kind of attitude you have. So these are some fundamentals. But on top of these fundamentals, we have certain techniques that are very, very important.
Speaking about stock market astrology, I cannot leave behind cryptocurrency. It's a new age, you can say, instrument. I am very keen to know, how do you see cryptocurrency, or which planets represent cryptocurrency in comparison to, like Saturn and Rahu ruling stock market?
You see, cryptocurrency is digital virtual currency, working on various platforms, techniques, blockchain, Web3. And it's come from the western part of the world.
Right.
Right. So the Karaka, the planet which rules the western part of the world, is Rahu.
Right.
Right. So Rahu becomes the primary Karaka. And then it says that, it's coding, it's softwares, it's decentralized, right? And that thing comes from Mercury.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever someone is programming, it's working with hands all the time and looking at things, creating Bitcoins, and then those Bitcoins survive for 1 week, 10 days. You have, celebrities coming up their own Bitcoins. You have a Trump coin, which is lasting for so many days. None of the coin has lasted so much, right? So it's all Mercury. It's all Rahu, which is coming. So, this is a trade which is purely technology oriented.
Right.
It's purely web oriented, right? So, it's about Rahu and Mercury. But end of the day, the blessing has to come from Jupiter. As I said, even if it is Rahu. So Rahu becomes the significator. Technology becomes the significator. And in this journal transit that we were talking about, right, Rahu comes in the sign of Aquarius, right? Okay, it transits in the sign of Aquarius, which is going to give birth to technology, AI, crypto.
Okay.
However, Saturn has gone to the sign of Pisces, right? And there is bull and bear, right? So all the male signs in a horoscope are the bull.
Okay.
And all the female signs in a horoscope are bear.
Okay.
Right? So what are all male signs? All the odd signs, like 1, 3, 5, 7, right? 9, 11. They're all, male signs. Or, it's a bull. The morale is very high. You want to invest. You want to hit. You want to take it to the highest level. Positive moves. But when it comes to all the female signs, which is bear, right? It's about the morale has gone down, you're shutting down, you're giving your resources, people are acquiring, people are hugging. So that's a very different approach.
Okay.
So Saturn went to the which sign? To the bear, to the female sign. So you see stocks going down, the company, the morale is going down, and everything is like haywire. But on the same time, when Rahu is entering Aquarius, which is a bull sign, which is a male sign, you see suddenly AI, crypto, technology, these are booming, these are going high, right? People who understand technology, people who understand rhythm, and it's not luck. I must tell you that if you understand an algorithm, you understand how these blockchain, platforms are working, 100%, it is also a very organized way of earning money, right? You have to learn, you have to get information, you have to see the trends. You just can't put, $100 and when you wake up, it's $1 million. It can happen to one odd person, but you need knowledge for it. You need those yogas in your horoscope for it. So Rahu in the Lagna, right? So any sambandha of Rahu with the Lagna, with the second house, with the fourth house, 10th house, 8th house, 11th house, or the fifth house, this give you that inclination towards learning and believing in that virtual money, believing in those IT algorithms. That's what crypto is. However, the yogas of Sun, Moon, Mars, everything remains the same. But the primary planets that take over, in the crypto is Rahu and Mercury. So Mercury transits become very important. Rahu transits become very important. Technology becomes very important. Are you going to be, a completely upgraded person with technology, or you are still using those conventional ways? That is going to make a difference between, you working in shares or crypto or both.
So now the big question a lot of people out there are waiting for, probably since the beginning of this episode, whether they can invest in 2025-26, or how is this year in particular for investing in AI, crypto, and tech stocks. What would you have to say about that?
You see, recommending someone for investment is a very personal horoscope centric question, right? Because for some people, the investments will be great, for some, they'll lose money. But as a whole, if you see at a mundane level, definitely there's going to be a big plus in AI, technology, and even the foreign institutional investments, which were going, which were reversing.
How?
When you see Saturn, coming into Pisces,
How?
and they are now coming back, right? So overall scenario towards the West, it's going to be great, right? I mean, you can invest, but the only condition, since Rahu is coming into a fixed sign,
okay,
right? 2, 5, 8, and 11 are fixed signs. It is always recommended that you invest with patience, right? You need to hang in there, right? It's not going to be the game of the people who have not a very strong mind, people who cannot handle those plus and minuses,
okay,
right? It will be, game changer for them. You'll have to leave this and you have to go and do something else. But if you have that frame of mind where you are mentally very, very strong about your investments, right? And you believe in technology and you're ready to learn. That's the most important thing. People want to earn money without learning. That's the problem. Rahu says, I'll give you tons. You learn, you stay strong there, right? And get some little bit of bhagya from Bhagavati. I'll make you large. That's what 25, 26 is all about.
Little bit of patience out there. So Saturn-Rahu-Jupiter transit in Pisces in 2025, can it lead to any kind of stock market crash or correction, major correction, something like that?
See, based on mundane level, I don't see a crash, but I see certain corrections. But you see, this is a very regular pattern. For an example, in 2018, 19, 20, where everything was going fine, suddenly we have a pandemic, right? Things go down. But then in 2022, 2023, after the COVID was gone, the tourism industry,
Right.
the vehicles, the motor industry, right? They just went very high. So technically, I don't see a major crash, to be very honest with you, right? The morale is high. People who are learning, people have patience, they are going to make it large. But yes, there will be certain very important corrections, especially when Jupiter goes into the sign of Cancer, right? And it's going to aspect Saturn, from the ninth aspect. That's the time when Jupiter would say that I'm going to give you luck, but you need to do it with these corrections, right?
Okay.
So that is the time when I feel, and that is the also time of the equinox, right? Because equinox is 21st and 21st March and 20th and 21st September, right? So October, Jupiter goes there. So on every equinox, there's movement, there are corrections, there are highs and lows, right? For an example, if you look at monthly things, right, on every Amavasya and Purnima, every sun eclipse and moon eclipse, they bring some sort of an earthquake, maybe with 3 or 4 Richter or a 5 Richter at stock exchange for sure. And why this is happening? Because all these, movements of planets, they work on the mindset of a native, of the people who are working in the stocks. So some of them who are with the weak moon, with less, blessed Jupiter, they are going to become very shaky. They are going to take some quick decisions. They are either going to buy or sell, and they wake up in the morning with some millions of loss or some, thousands of loss. And I have many such clients where I stop them that, hey, you're not doing anything on Amavasya Purnima. You're not doing on Ashtami Tithis, which are Rahu Tithi, right? You're not doing anything on Saptami and Amavasya, right? You need to be very, very, or you take a leave, go home, sleep, work on some of the Tithis where the turbulence is less. So 25, 26 is going to be a turbulent year, right? Only for weak people, right? But if you have strong planets, see, stock exchange is not going to be wiped off, for sure, right? Still, with the huge amount of dip, people are going to make money. Right? So technically, it's a turbulent year. It happens always after 28, 30 years, right? In fact, 1996 to 98 was also turbulent. 2008-9 was turbulent. 2020 was turbulent. But when did stock exchange wiped off? Never.
Yeah. So we just need a little bit of patience, and we don't need to get panicky and take wrong decisions and withdraw out of panic. So patience is the lesson here. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We have a part 2. If you like my astrology podcasts, this channel is into very authentic astrology podcasts, and I really pride myself for that. So you can subscribe, and yes, stay tuned. Lots of love.
Thank you.